Hi, everybody. Are we live? Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hello, Dave from Ontario, New York. He said, I just lost my string action gauge between the cushion of the out couch.
Really?
You doing your own setup work there on a Murphy bed?
Well, it's a very specific Murphy bed.
Cool, man.
It's a fold-out ironing board.
Yeah, it's kind of a combo thing.
It's the same one Lucy had.
That's fat. Yeah. Quick welcome to Eugene and Dylan's Guitar. I'm Eugene Edwards. I'm over here. That's Dr. Dylan Calajri.
Hey there.
He's right over there.
What's going on, everybody?
And today we're just going to chat about Pearl Jam's debut album, which is known as 10 because
there's 10 songs.
It's 10 songs.
Also, Mookie Blaylock's number was 10.
Oh, that I didn't remember that.
See, so there's
from beloved Seattle Sonics, who are now officially the OKC Thunder, but that's a whole
different
show.
This is
not a sports
We do
podcast.
not want to start that can.
So, hello from Colorado, Connecticut. We got people all over there. Hiya. Hey-ya, as Mary Lee says, up there in Oregon. Quick guitar story, though, before we go. I have a couple of stories. Last week, sorry I wasn't able to be here. It was a busy week, yada, yada. But I stopped over at this club in my neighborhood. There's a young guitar player that was playing, and I wanted to go see him. A really friendly guy. And he sees me on break, and he says, do you want to sit in? I said, Dad, I'd love to. It's funny. He says, did you bring a guitar? No, I don't do that. No.
Bring a guitar with you?
Yeah.
But you're not playing?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think people. I think he encourages sit-in. So I think people do. I think guitar players do tend to bring a guitar. I wasn't aware of this. I wouldn't bring a guitar.
I wouldn't
anyway.
bring a guitar. Yeah.
It's So before I sat in, another guy sat in.
Yeah.
A young guy goes up there and takes out this beautiful Gibson ES335.
Ooh.
Lovely. And he plays it beautifully. And then it's my turn to sit in, and this kid with the 335, when he just kind of holds it up to me, kind of like, you want to just play this? So I think that'd be fabulous. Now, so he's adjusting the strap, and he's hard, and I said, this is great because I'm in the market for a 330 for one of these right now.
Right.
I've been talking to the Gibson rep here in LA about it, and both he and Taylor, the two guys, are you seriously in the market for one right now?
Yeah.
I said, well, yeah.
Yeah. I'm in the market for SG.
And Taylor says, you're looking for a 64 335?
You're like, well,
is this a 1964? Yeah.
I was looking for something from the Eisenhower administration, technically.
No, I'm not in the market for one of those. If I were, I'd put it down on a condo.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I was going to say I'd be looking for an
I'm
island.
happy with something made in May.
Yeah. of any year.
Of course, it had no scratch. I guess he got it. It was a studio player.
Yeah.
A session guy.
Yeah.
So just never went on the road. It was always just play. Of course, it played beautifully.
It wasn't a reissue or anything.
It was not.
No, it's a real one.
It was a 1964, not a reissue.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. So
what's that worth? What's that?
Those are
10 grand.
Oh, 20s, 30s,
20,000.
Yeah.
20,000, folks.
That's the year. That's the red one that Eric Clapton played.
That's a Hyundai Sonata.
That's
right there. That's a Hyundai Sonata with low mileage.
You could play a nice Sonata.
You could play a nice Sonata on this guitar, but.
So that was one thing, and then the other thing was last Wednesday was I did my last night at Harvard and Stone in Hollywood.
Yeah, the last night. Oh, it's over.
Well, it was gonna be the last one of the year.
Oh.
I kind of I thought we should be changing clubs anyway because they were starting to get a little funky about some things. I thought, well, let's just end on a high note and say thank you and
about
yada, yada.
Free drinks or something.
No. And then the night before the show, I get a word from the promoter that the club really wants me to be done at midnight.
But just you start at 10?
Yeah. I mean, the whole night starts around at 9. But I have guests, guys. I don't know if I'll be done by midnight. So what if I got a crowd, which we always have a crowd? They want to switch to their own DJ and do this Coyote Ugly thing with girls on the bar and all that.
They've already done that so many times there.
I said, well, I don't know if I'll be done at midnight. I don't know. And so I said, but I told the promoter, but you told me everything. You gave me all the information.
And it's you were wide hands of it.
Yeah. I just want to see what happens now.
Yeah.
So, of course, we're playing the second set, and I get a look from the promoter, from the dance floor. He looks at me like, I can tell, oh, we must be in the red zone now. Because I'm not.
So that's
what
Eugene did. Outlaw country. He lived outlaw country instead of talking about it. If you see that, I mean.
By the way, full club. People dancing everywhere. The place is raging.
Yeah, but that's not what we're here for.
And I'm sitting there thinking, well, I'm not gonna just stop. So I go into a song, and then the new DJ goes on his mic and blares throughout the club and into our monitors. Let's hear one last round of applause for Eugene Edwards' last song of the night. Da, da, da. He's like talking over him while I'm singing. I may or may not have told him what he could go do with himself.
Wow. Hey, you guys heard it here. Now I hope your kids aren't watching.
At some point, some girls like from our audience get on stage and are dancing. I jump off stage to make room for them, but also I want to get out of view of the manager and the new DJ. So I have my back to them. I'm looking at the band, and I'm signaling to them, we're going to roll.
I was going to say,
we're going to roll. No stop.
All solos.
So
go.
I jump back on stage. We go into another song. I go to sing, and they cut my mic, and then they just cut all the power of the stage and just played this overwhelmingly like harsh heavy metal
closing time.
What was it?
Was it that?
So it was definitely our last night.
Wow. Did you guys hear that? That's unbelievable. Hey, good to see all of you. Let's see. Eric, great to see you. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. All right, so let's talk some Pearl Jam 10.
Pearl Jam.
So this album, right? I don't let us know how you guys feel about this album. I mean, there's going to be some age specificity to this, but
yeah.
Well, how old were you when this came out?
I don't think I was.
It hit in 92. It hit.
I think of it as it came out in 91.
Yeah, but it hit in 92.
So I was 18.
Okay, 18.
I was 18, yeah.
All right, so I was 9.
Okay.
And my older brother was listening to this, and he had, the flannel and the hair and a ponytail, and
look at me,
the cigarettes, the Camel. Anyway, so
cool.
And I was like,
tough guy.
I was like, this is freaking. I'm into it.
It's heavy, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to ditch school and just smoke. You know what I mean? Anyways, so but this album, this was the biggest. This actually eclipsed Nevermind in terms of Billboard
which
charts.
seemed rather impossible.
It seemed impossible.
Was so hot, but that's what it means with the Seattle, the scene, the grunge scene, like it would. I mean, yeah. To make a comparison, I guess this would be a sloppy one, but like the British Invasion thing, where it's just tons of Beatles out and tons of Beatles, and then all of a sudden the
Rolling Stones,
then the Kinks, they just keep coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
So
anyway, so it, let's see, it was 243 weeks on the Billboard charts, number like of the top 10, which is really phenomenal, by the way, if you think about it. That's like how many years is that? That's several years within the top. I mean, that's unbelievable.
It's a few years. You're right.
And then 13.5 million albums the first year, which is. So this is one of the greatest selling albums of all time, actually.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's in that top,
It's just in that moment where, man, we were really buying units.
We were buying units.
CDs mostly. You had it on cassette?
I had, I did not. God, I didn't have a CD player. You had to be like a Wall Street banker to have a CD player in the early 90s, as far as I was concerned.
I have it on vinyl.
Oh well, they actually didn't make it on vinyl initially. That's the reissue.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Right there. So there's a 2009 reissue. So. This is the product of Temple of the Dog, basically. The what we did 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, we were talking about this. Yeah,
Hunger Strike. So if you didn't check that one out, check it. Basically, Eddie Vedder. You've got Cameron Gossard, Jeff Ahmet, and Mike McCready have a demo, and it's got 5 of these songs. 3 of them are the singles from this album, and they pitch it. They end up getting Eddie Vedder from San Diego through a bunch of loose affairs, basically. And they're in the studio with Rick Bashar, who was the producer that had done the Temple of the Dog album. Apparently, they liked the reverb on that. They didn't like the reverb on this. We'll go into that in just a minute.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah. But we end up with this album that's honestly kind of a grunge, like I think it's the epitome of a grunge album, really.
Ooh, that might be that's a good question. Yeah, what album epitomizes grunge to you? And this is it's hard to argue with this one.
Marilee says this album's good all the way through, no skipping necessary. I think I agree with you, Marilee.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I just let it run through.
I let stuff play through.
It's also because like many great albums, one of the reasons it's not just that it's 10 great songs and 10 great performances of great songs, by the way. Like you said, it's not on the grid. I mean, these guys they have to play this stuff. This is before auto-tuning and all this sort of thing. But obviously the band has their sound. It's like they know what they sound like already.
Right.
This does not sound like a debut band is trying to figure their things out. No, they had been Mother Love Bone. So, they'd been working this out
Which was a very different band too. It was a very different sounding band, but but four of them had been in a band already.
But they played together, and so I think it's easier to like, okay, we're going to do this time. Then you've got this very, very, at the time, I thought a very unusual sounding singer.
Yeah,
meaning singers up until then, obviously in all the hair metal stuff, lead singers were singing very, very high up in tenor range. Very, very, and then but even the pop singers were mostly like way up there, and then. This guy even jokingly kind of like sounded like the guy from Iron Butterfly. Like he's growling. And he's no,
that's not Iron Butterfly. I'm thinking of help me.
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida.
There we go. In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. I get this mixed up all the time. In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, baby. It's
so obviously he has a much bigger range because he can go from a whisper to a scream. And we were listening to at least the remaster of it. Eddie's voice is very, very upfront,
super forward,
and very dry.
Yeah.
So it's like this very disturbed man.
There was auto-tune, by the way.
Or at least a guy
very disturbed man,
or a guy who's disturbed by things, by events that he has to sing about. Like he's very, very in your face here, and it's an interesting mix. The way the snares are tuned are very kind of like. Progressive rock. It's a very like it's not. I don't know. It's a
they're
piccolo
tight
snare.
snares. It almost sounds like a piccolo snare. It's a really
drums
tight,
are tuned very tightly.
The drums are really. I mean, this is the end of the '80s. Had the best kind of recording sounds, technically, if you would,
right?
Whether or not they're the sound you want, in terms of just fidelity wise. And you've got digital tape at that time, so you've got like really high end digital tape.
Lots of guitars.
Yeah, lots of guitars.
Lots and lots and lots. And lots of guitars layered over. Now we're talking about the ending of Jeremy. I don't know what's going on. Like I can't even keep track of what's a guitar and what isn't.
He says if we start In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, we might not have time for anything else because it's like 45 minutes long. That's why I wanted to do Sunshine of Your Love instead, Eugene.
Yeah, much shorter. Got it at Bleecker Bob's in Greenwich Village.
Oh, wow. Whim. That's awesome, Jim. Look at you.
Bleecker Bob's.
We want a photo. Jim.
I bought some bootleg albums there at Bleecker Bob's way back in the day.
Yeah, I want a 90s photo, Jim. So let's start with the one that was the first recorded song.
Okay.
That was recorded in January. It's the only one that survived the first session.
January of 91?
January of 91. Okay. It's the only one that survived the first session. This album, I believe, is actually recorded before Nevermind and dropped before Nevermind, but didn't hit as hard until Smells Like Teen Spirit hit.
Okay.
It's Epic Records. Rick Pichar's the producer. So you have a...
I actually taught this on Fender Play.
Did you really?
How to play the... And that's an interesting thing. Yeah, the open string hammer-on.
Right.
That's like kind of an odd thing, and the timing of it's a little... It's a really, really evocative lick.
Notice, so by the end of the song, you guys, most of these songs actually have that Blues Brother gospel-inspired progression to them, where they all sort of end up in this kind of guitar solo, sort of looped progression by the end of the song.
I don't know what you mean.
So this song is, I'm still alive. Ooh, I'm still alive.
What are the chords there?
I don't remember that part. Let me think here. It'll come to me. Anyway, so it's a really long guitar solo for the whole end of the thing, and then it starts to pick up and go into double time. It's a very Freebird-ish type of situation going on.
Yeah.
Which is, kind of like that double time sort of.
Like gospel, yeah, right. Goes good. Get the tambourine out.
By the end, the tabourine's out on this song, but it starts with the single guitar at the intro, and I think that's what's iconic about it. Much like maybe or a lot of songs that start
right, just the lone guitar,
just the one guitar.
I understand what you're saying.
Hitting you hard.
Yeah. Now, is this also? Do we hear? Well, what's also this is a band. This is when bands would like technically show off their technical proficiency. So I believe it's Jeff.
Jeff Ament.
The bass does hammered harmonics and slides them up. Is that not on the bass?
It is.
That. So we hear a fretless bass.
He plays fretless bass out of the gate.
We're hearing fretless bass, harmonic, a dyad actually.
Yeah.
So it's like, and of course, like the drummer's really like showing off lots of chops.
Yeah, and the drummer, I think the drummer on this recording was...
Is that Matt Cameron? Or
No. It was somebody else, and he ended up leaving the band due to alcoholism, actually.
Oh, yeah. Pearl Jam had a bit of a Spinal Tap thing about drummers for a while. By the way, this Saturday at Vidiot's, which is the local movie theater in my neighborhood, they're screening This Is Spinal Tap. I'm going to take my kid.
Oh, is it the second one or the first one?
No, the
first
original.
One.
I
haven't seen the second one yet, so nobody ruin it.
She loves Waiting for Guffman and
what's the one with the pets? Best in Show.
Best in Show.
Yeah.
And then so her mom and I started talking about This Is Spinal Tap, and Bianca was like, "What?"
Oh,
I was like, "Oh, you're gonna
tell her you don't have The Office without This Is Spinal
all that
Tap.
the mockumentary." But But obviously, it's a great thing about lampooning rock bands. You all know Spinal Tap, and we can all quote it over and over again. And I think for her too, I think as well, like. Well, anyway, we were just talking about it like a couple days ago, and then today I see in the listings it's playing this weekend. Oh, this is perfect.
Yeah, in a theater too.
Yeah,
you can't
theater.
You can't screw
nice
around.
And loud,
exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
You're not distracted by your phone, all that sort of stuff. Great movie.
No, it's got to be. And notice how it's me mystic in our conversations. I mean, we can literally just.
Okay, so no, the cover is not as famous or infamous as the Nevermind
Definitely
album
not.
cover. Although Jeff Ament designed the.
Jeff Ament was the art designer on the album. The reason the cover, if you guys remember, the CD folds out into a large picture of the cover. And their concept was they really liked vinyl and they wanted to have a vinyl because we all used to put our vinyls up on the wall and you'd have the record, but you'd keep it in a sleeve and put the vinyl. Anyways, so that was the idea. So Alive is the first track that's recorded. So when they go in to record it March through April, they finish off the rest of the tracks. It's a month. I know that sounds like a long time, but back in these days, it wasn't a long time. I mean, bands would take 6 months. I think Aerosmith may hold the record.
Right.
But they would take a really long time to lock out a studio and record.
By the way, part of the reason, in my opinion, it just seems, is because of this great technology that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
There was just so many options.
Right.
You didn't have to sort of, like the Beatles would have to like invent a gadget to make a sound that they
read about the Sgt. Pepper's recording if you ever wanted,
and the Revolver album too. But here you didn't there was just all the toys were there.
Yeah,
and so can you imagine just? I mean, is it the paradox of choice they talk
Absolutely.
about?
Absolutely, warbles and tape machines and
it must have been So it's not like because this band can play. It's not like they couldn't get a good take. A lot of it's just like. Or we could do this, or we could do this, and now let's mix it. So we could do this, or we could do this.
When you guys hear this album, when you hear McCready's playing on this album, so the solos, generally, I think there's a few Stone Gossard solo licks in there, but who do you think he most evokes as a player? And I know what I think the answer is overwhelmingly, and I think the big trick to this is Yellow Ledbetter, that song.
So obviously it's at the time, and gosh, Stevie Ray Vaughan has just passed away,
right,
in August of '90.
Yeah.
So to hear a Strat,
right,
and that clean
in a grunge situation,
it always struck me, as very obviously it's very Hendrix,
sort of almost. The juxtaposition.
Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and all this is very, very much like the Curtis Mayfield pop staples style of R&B rhythm playing, that tone that Hendrix was doing. I just thought that was interesting that a grunge band would have such a classic rock guitar tone.
I know. Isn't it bizarre?
Like, not generic distortion guitar, which is classic rock, I guess, but this,
against a fretless bass and 80s drum sounds.
Yes. So that's what I'm talking about. When you hear this album, that's another part of the recipe.
Yeah.
That really makes this thing like you don't really try and take that clean Strat. Is he out of phase or is it neck pickup mostly?
I think on his solos. But the rest of it, so the beginning of the song is Stone Gossard, if we're talking about Alive still, and that's him playing that's a Les Paul. But outside of that, McCready's obviously playing a Strat the entire time, which apparently he breaks in every show nearly at some point in the Pearl Jam career. I'm not sure if it's back this far, but which there's a whole controversy in the guitar tech community about why they are not happy with him about that, by the way, because they have to. Ladies and gentlemen, when somebody breaks their guitar on stage, the guitar tech is supposed
Someone else has to fix it.
Rebuild that guitar.
Story about there's a guy, I believe his name was Ernie, and he was Cobain's tech for many years.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine grew up with him.
Wow.
A friend of mine grew up in the Spokane area. That was where Ernie was from. And this guy Ernie, from what the story is, that he was interested in guitars as machines, as things.
Yeah.
And he would donate his time. They didn't even pay him. He just volunteered to work at a guitar shop.
Right, beer.
And and if they're getting rid of a little tuner or a little washer, what a little piece of he would just like put them in little bags. He just like so then
he sounds it's a little scary, but okay, yeah, it sounds a little serial killers. Yeah,
perfect guy,
right?
For Kurt, because obviously those guitars will get destroyed, and
the offsets too.
The
Mustangs and the Jag-Stangs.
That's why it's a neck from that.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it ended up like
all
that.
All those little pieces that get like he had bags of them, and just so there's a guy who's kind of like, okay, let's just see if this will be playing by tomorrow. Let's just Frankenstein this thing as much.
And you'd have to have that approach about it because he'd be going nuts otherwise.
And another story, a friend of mine, JJ Blair, who has a wonderful Instagram feed, by the way, where he's a producer and an engineer, and he isolates tracks from classic records and really talks about. He's a wonderful guy. Years ago, the Who were playing at the Hollywood Bowl, and their regular piano player, Rabbit, had to go back to England because his wife was ill. Their second string keyboardist couldn't do it because he'd published a book about the Beatles' gear, and he was on a book tour.
Oh wow!
So JJ ends up being like the third call, and JJ's a massive Who fan, and so he can play keys.
Right.
Love Rain Over Me was the only thing he really had to practice. Everything else is really like matter of like understanding how the arpeggiators work and the synthesizers.
Yeah, because there's a lot of obviously.
So that is more like a. So anyway, so he does 2 shows with the Who, his heroes, right?
Right.
And first show, everything's great, everything works out, but Townsend, who at that time was playing the Eric Clapton signature Strats, he's just playing this. String breaks, and Pete just sets the guitar down gently, like just sets it on the ground, and just kind of just slides it,
right,
and picks up another Strat. The guitar slides across the stage, and his tech sees it. Okay, well, I'll go get it, and then here's a sound. So it just happened to hit like the bottom of a case or something. So the headstock just splits.
Now, by the way, is not easy to do.
At this point, Townsend has not been breaking guitars for decades. Like he didn't do that anymore. So it's split, and it's like the number one strike. Like, oh no! So Townsend does the rest of the show on the other Strat, and afterwards the crew. Of course, JJ was talking to the crew about tomorrow night and what went wrong. And then the guitar tech says, I've got my own problems because he split the headstock on this thing, and I don't know if I have everything. And JJ says, my house is like not far from here at all, and I've got everything you need.
Right.
So the guitar, the roadie takes the guitar to JJ's house. They repair it. They have clamps. They're doing everything, and so they do the second show. By now,
this is the next night?
Next night.
Oof,
JJ has not met the members of the Who. He's done a show.
Yeah.
But to the second one, still hasn't even chatted with them.
Right, mate, right.
Do the second show, great. Pete's able to play the guitar. And afterwards, before JJ leaves, Daltrey and Townsend, they make time to thank JJ and introduce themselves, like, thank you for bailing us. And then Pete says, I understand that you had something to do with my guitar. Like, you helped fix it or something. And so JJ's like tongue-tied because even though he's just played 2 shows with him,
it's still Pete Townsend, man. All right.
And he said, we had like a 10-minute talk about guitar repair.
Yeah.
Like, of all the things I wanted to talk to this guy about, and by the way, Pete Townsend, very familiar with wood glues, apparently.
Really? Oh, he's a wood glue connoisseur.
Had to be.
There could have been some sniffing in the day. I don't know.
Had to be because he'd gone through so many.
Well, that makes more sense.
Right. And so he was like, what? Very knowledgeable about wood glues and clamps and stuff. No, he's very.
Also, it's not the best glue for sniffing. I can tell you that offhand. Yeah, it's not a good sniffer glue.
All right, so that's a lie.
So there you go.
The clean Strat thing though is very, very indicative.
It's just a kind of an outlier of the whole sound. You
Because
know
this
what I
is
mean?
before Under the Bridge.
It's before Under the Bridge.
You know, like we started to hear that classic Hendrix clean strat thing. No, I don't want to hear. I don't want to.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway,
I
wasn't inviting that.
What I don't want. No. Okay. All right. Well. So, anyways. So after that, probably one of the biggest singles on the album, maybe the biggest single when people think of Pearl Jam in general, Jeremy. Right.
Yeah.
So we have.
And we're hearing Jeff Ament play this on a 12-string bass.
On a 12-string bass. And you're also, I think there's a guitar that's doubling as well on there. I'm not totally sure, to be honest with you. It sounds like there's a guitar on the top of this. But it could just be the other string.
So think about a 12-string bass, right?
Yeah.
You've seen what, so
a 12-string fretless bass, Eugene.
Just to make
I just want to make sure we're, okay.
So the bass has 4 strings.
Right.
And I think the idea here,
So I could understand an 8-string bass.
where they're doubled, or they're doubled, or the other set of strings an octave up.
An octave up. I'm good with that.
Okay.
But now you've taken the bass and you've added a B string, and you've also added, I believe, a C string, right? Yes, that's what it is when it's a 6-string bass. So then you've added an octave double of those, and so what you've done here is an abomination. You've truly.
We've seen this. Nick Lowe has used one before, and Tom Peterson from Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
Would use it a lot because just to fill out the sound,
Right?
Because you have only one guitar, and if Robin's
it really
not
does.
playing
By
with
the
them,
way,
it just sounds like power chord. It's just thickening up this.
I'll say this.
Thickening up.
For my ear as an adult listening to this, it's bass and drums make the whole band. I know that sounds crazy to you guys, but the bass is just so good on this.
Jeremy, for instance, is a great example of Jeff is. It's just tons of slash chords. I mean, even though the chord.
So that over this, there's like all kinds of moving bass going on.
It's just the whole thing's very, very uneasy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you can't get a hold of this progression because of what Jeff's doing, which is pretty evocative considering the lyrics.
Right.
And just this kind of unhinged, kind of like out of control situation. So,
Yeah, right.
So it's just kind of just really, really brilliant playing.
Yeah, and so.
F to G.
Yeah. Well, no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, you're right. No. That's it. You're right. So. That's why I couldn't find the note. So during all that, and I hear the third in there too. Yeah. During all that, we have a lot of bass movement. Then we've also got the bass movement under the.
Yeah. I agree. And Eddie just starts making sounds.
By the way, do you realize I want you guys to show up at a studio, book a studio tomorrow, right? So you got to step into a time machine, book a studio tomorrow, and then I want you to step up to the mic. The engineer says, "Go ahead," and start doing this, and let me know how the room receives it. Okay, because this man, people must have been thinking, all right, we've lost him.
Don't forget, he's new to the band.
He's definitely new.
My boy just took a Greyhound from San Diego. First of all, had the courage to do the move on hunger strike.
Yeah, just rushes
and
the
now
stage.
It's just sort of like, a seemingly quiet, shy guy
goes on a mushroom trip in the middle of a song about a teen suicide. The whole thing is out of control.
Yeah.
So
but wow, you must have been like, wow, we may have found someone.
We found
here.
the guy. We found the right guy. We found the guy. Clearly, I remember.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And a great frontman. I remember. I think the first time I heard this band, I saw the video of it's Even Flow.
Yeah,
that's the live at the Moore Theater.
Dude, that one's.
Which I've played and I love it. But he's hanging from the balcony.
Dude,
you're like, oh, this is our singer. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure OSHA did not sign off on any of that.
Yeah, there's a workplace injury.
There's no straps. At least I can't see them. No. So Garth Brooks is flying around on a harness. This guy's just literally climbing like a Tarzan.
Anything can happen.
So this song, we were talking about this before the show. The cacophony of instrument on this song
as it builds toward that end. It's just so much,
dude. It's like, so this is a very difficult song to try to cover unless you're just going to completely change the approach to it, because you really can't replicate it. You know what I mean? So you'd have to play a track or something to really be able to replicate this.
It's like D over.
Oh, the bass. I mean, he's going into like Mixolydian, and he's starting to really screw around in there.
This is a fun dive if you just think about what modes are happening. If you're into modes, this is an interesting song to listen to and think about that way.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, here's another thing about this.
Oh, Hagar. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it's on a. That's where he's the best. Yeah! Which he's fronting. What's the name of the Antros? So, anyways, one of the things that's most impressive about Jeff Ahmet's playing is this is way before you have autotune, you guys. And nowadays, and I don't want to pull the curtain back, but autotune is not just on the vocals. They use it on the basses. They use it on a lot of things. And that's part of the reason you don't hear any of the harmonic infidelity that you would hear on a Motown album or a Four Tops album or something like that. You know, just hitting a string harder one time
make it sharp.
will make it so when you're going back and you're listening to this bass on this album, the continuity of his playing is really good.
Yeah.
And his tuning is just and it's a fretless
Have you
bass,
ever met
by
him?
the way. I've met him one time.
When did you meet him?
So this was a very long time ago. It was in San Francisco, and it was at a meet and greet it was in San Jose. It was at a meet and greet at a Guitar Center.
Oh, cool. Met him. This is years ago. We were on tour with Dwight, and we had a Monday night off in Montana, and we were like, "What are we gonna do?" Now we're there to play the state fair. So, well, you want to go to the fair?
Yeah.
So, is somebody playing? Maybe. And
It's Pearl Jam.
Cheap Trick.
Oh, Cheap Trick. Wow. Oh, and he shows up to the Cheap Trick show.
And he's at the Cheap Trick show. And because he has a place in Montana. That's where he's from, Jeff.
Yeah.
And so there's two 12-string bass players at the same time. Tom
I was going to say.
Jeff. But lovely.
They travel in packs.
I didn't know that. Yes.
I didn't know Sammy used to climb up to the ceiling merrily. I didn't know that.
See, there you go.
Well, he was the Red Rocker.
He was the Red Rocker.
I mean, I guess he is the Red Rocker.
Probably still is.
Yeah. Okay, so Jeremy, huge album, very controversial, by the way. This is, how old is MTV? It's 12 years old, 10 years old.
Yeah.
But it's certainly, as far as it being in the zeitgeist in a big way and influencing culture, it's really influencing culture now. There is no teenager that does not watch MTV, just about.
Right.
And so when mom comes home and she sees the scene at the end of the video, there's a lot of innuendo and implications about this, and you could jump to a conclusion and assume that someone's advocating that you do some sort of carnal act like that.
Advocating, but back to another shift that grunge in general brings to music, rock music, but music in general.
Sure,
is just the subject matter.
Yeah.
We went from "She's My Cherry Pie."
Yeah, literally from that.
Or Wilson Phillips. You look at what the hits were.
This had come out same year.
What was that? What is it?
She's only 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you
it's
go.
Winger, you guys.
No, Guns N' Roses, the Appetite for Destruction album comes
89.
out before this, 89.
Yeah.
And obviously,
they're touring.
But
91, Use Your Illusion 1 comes out.
Some of those songs, it's about drug use.
Sure.
But grunge, all those bands seem to be singing about social issues, family trauma,
breakups, depression.
Is it Alive? There's that's a very, very bizarre family dynamic going on in the song Alive.
Yeah, there's some interesting.
So
we'll leave that topic alone.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like the subject matter is it's not light fare. It's really, really heavy stuff, and the music's played with an energy to
it's
really,
not a Poison
really match
song.
it.
It is not a Poison song.
And I love Poison. Really fun stuff.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with it.
But it was a shift that we're now going to sing about this, and the videos are going to might even
cause some controversy and act out some of it. Yeah.
Which doesn't always work for videos, but this one does. Is
well, they had a huge budget for this video, and if you watch empty videos of that era, this is a standout in terms of this is a vignette. I mean, this is like a budget like a Michael Jackson bad album video.
Remember, I think Aerosmith was at this point was also doing these little mini movies.
So I have a joke about
hired actors. Go ahead.
So Aerosmith in I don't know in the 2000s or late 90s, the A&R guy comes or the A&M Records guy comes and he's like, so I have some bad news and good news. Okay. The bad news is we only have $40 million for the video. But I know, and they're like, come on. But we did get the freight train for Jim Perry to walk out in front of and then walk away from. Yeah. We were able to get the bridge for you guys to jump off of.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just shoot around that. We'll cut around it. Yeah.
It's not what we wanted, though. No. I can tell you that. To think I got sober for this.
Tell me about, let's just talk about the guitar, like the compositions, scales. What are we hearing on this album a whole lot?
When you come to this...
This is definitely written to the end of the show because once he does this, the Stratocaster.
The Strat's done.
It's not coming back.
This is sort of a one-use thing. So this is where the bass thing is. The bass line. It's really hard to sing and play this.
I was going to say I was pretty impressed.
So this has like a 12/8 like kind of feel to this song, right? It's like this is a very different feel than a and so this song is actually drummers tend to not be great at this or they are really great at this feel. But not every drummer can make this song feel good. Because it has almost a tribal 12/8 feel to it if you think about it. So if you feel exactly. So
it's not simply boom, ga, boom, boom, ga.
It's not that at all.
Or just this really lazy halftime thing. It's a lot of activity.
Right.
Especially when it opens up to the chorus, that beautiful ride cymbal pattern he pulls off.
And man, he plays drums on this. Just exceptional drumming. So, anyways, this is just literally just in natural minor. It's got a flat 6 in it. The last song we just played is in natural minor until we get to the chorus where it's actually in. You could say it doesn't have some of the characteristics, so you could say natural minor or Dorian until we get to the chorus where it actually has a major third on the 5 chord.
Right.
And then
we were talking about what's the one that starts. There's one song that has the parallel major and minor.
Yeah, once.
Yeah, so it's E. It's E major to A major. Very major. And it's an A major add 2. Then this move, C major,
which is flat 6.
But then E minor. And you can tell because even what Eddie sings in here. So you actually hear an E minor structure and at the end of the chorus,
so it's tattooed everything.
Well, they just let the E minor ring out,
and this is as direct of a modulation as you get.
Boom, direct right back to E major. Think about this. Yeah. There's really not. I mean, maybe there was something playing in his headphones to which he could adjust, but Eddie just comes in singing an E major melody,
right?
Having just heard an E minor
so he had
chord.
Good pitch. I mean, you know what I mean?
Not easy.
And I think when he, like some of the criticisms back then of him by studio people, I guess, would have been, that he meandered out of pitch. I think that was intentional. I think that was all tone painting in a sense. I think it was.
I don't think he was trying to. I don't think he was trying to sing pretty.
No. And I think it was to say like I'm breaking your conventions.
Yeah. I mean, but it's really just to come and sing it. You remember the song? This is a strange aside, but "Our House" by Madness.
Yeah, of course. Our House.
So it's got this. It's a really genius song because it really has just one progression,
right?
Per se. Let's see. It's the 1 to the 5 minor. 2 minor, 4 minor.
Yeah, right.
1, 5 minor, 2 minor.
It's a very unconventional way to approach 4 minor.
So it has 4 chords and 3 of them are minor. But, and then that's in the verse. For the chorus, it just goes up. In the middle of it keeps the progression. It just modulates up.
Right.
And then in the middle of goes back. Then at the end, the producer had this idea, basically just do this chromatic median.
Yeah.
They just go up and down minor thirds. So house in the middle of our,
and then up a minor third from there.
Oh no, sorry. And then
our house.
There's our castle in our house in the middle of our house. It just keeps, but so those guys, they're all singing these harmonies on that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, so they had to have a separate track of piano playing the next key. They had to just come in, like overdub it so you could hear the pitch of what they're about to sing.
Yeah.
Because now they've done that song for like 30 years.
Well,
we can do it live now because
those
we're so
are
used
even
to
more
it.
closely related keys than E major and E minor.
Yeah.
Because E major and minor, as far as on the circle of fifths, they're actually further apart.
Yeah. So kudos to Eddie just to come back and just basically go back to his major key melody.
Right.
After doing this.
3D. Exactly.
And then even if you don't hear the open of the G. You already hear that motif.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, oh, that is not an E major, you know. So
but I'm assuming they practice the junk out of these too. So
so
when we come to Even Flow, you know, this is probably, for me, this is the biggest banger as far as a cover song off this album because you can cover it and it goes over really well.
Okay, there you go.
And and if there's like, you know, when you're at the bar and there's no more women there, and it's just okay. Eugene doesn't.
Not at my gigs.
The rest of us may have experienced. Anyways, and so it's just a bunch of dudes, and they're like, "Come on!"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Okay, it's getting a little froggy in here." So this is when you start like all of a sudden I'm the man in the bar, and all of this stuff starts to come out because it's like the angst can come out there or it can come out here.
You're not going to do "Are You Strong Enough to Be My Man" by Sheryl Crow at that point.
That's true. We could just go full like we could go into I'm Coming Out. We could just go full. Yeah, we
just kind of just see what these boys are made
Let's
of.
see what happens here.
Black. This is from Jim. Black really caught my ear when I first heard it. It sounded new and intriguing. Yeah.
So Black was apparently an incredible. So the band is sentimental.
John Wavy, 1991, same year as the Divinals' 4th album. A lot of uncomfortable MTV watching with your parents. Yeah, man. Yeah, good point. Good point.
You know, my parents, they weren't in the room for any of this.
No. MTV was babysitting us a lot.
Exactly. But yeah, if they had been, it would have been. But so I think basically looking back on this album as Pearl Jam, they tour the crap out of it. They don't have another album, I believe, for about 4 years. It's or maybe a little longer even.
No.
5 Against 1 is quite a ways away.
Wow.
And so, which is pretty rare when you have that big of a hit for the record company, because they were like the biggest band in the world for a while. And the album that comes out after that is originally called 5 Against 1. The record company makes them retitle it because it's presumed that it is 5 Against the World, and there's backlash, I guess. I don't know. This is around the time of the satanic daycares or whatever
PMRC
that was going on. Yeah. So,
Tipper Gore,
and
the Parents Advisory, the lyric thing, yeah.
So, so basically, it's a completely different sound. If you haven't noticed, if you guys have listened to
production-wise
to Verses, the songs are radically different approach-wise, and they all apparently the folks in Pearl Jam don't like this album. They don't like the production. They can't even listen to it. Is what they've stated.
So you said, like, was it Stone that said something about?
Yeah. So Stone Gossard says tons of overdubbed guitars. It killed the vibe, and there's too much reverb. And
very good, Jim.
Well,
Frank Zappa, the mothers of prevention. Very good.
Yeah. So I mean,
thank you, Sean. That's very sweet of you to say, buddy. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's good. You're good.
It's all a compliment.
So
thanks, man.
Yeah, Sean, thanks for being here.
Well, no. By the way,
Eddie Vedder says about the same thing. By the way.
Okay, so I think they might have been, and these men can speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Obviously, it seems to me that of the grunge bands,
right?
Pearl Jam. Kurt complained about the sound of the Nevermind album.
Bush Vig. This is Rick Bashar. Similar approaches.
I think these were also the Seattle grunge. Like a lot of them,
studio
had very, very mixed emotions about being successful.
Yeah.
And so
inauthentism, I think, is something that they really perceived from this.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
So I think there's might be a little bit of a, and by the way, because this album in these production ways, the way the drums are mic'd, as you said, the way it does feel like anthem 80s
it's
rock.
A lot of close miking. Yeah. Yeah.
So
which gives you this studio sound, and that's the opposite of.
So I think they were just a little conflicted about succeeding so fast.
Yeah, and that's
so big.
You're really tying into what they talked about.
And I think that part of it is like you got to disown that thing.
That
That the mix and the sound of it, parts of it, as unusual as the album is, as we were talking about for its time, there are other things that's like, well, this does sound great on FM radio.
Yeah,
like it sounds like a monster, like a big rock album. And I think they might have just felt a little.
Well, let me ask you another question. Mm-hmm. Given that we had just come off of My Cherry Pie and Wanted Dead or Alive and everything else, right? So, or that's way earlier, but you know what I mean.
I got you.
Would the public have been as receptive to a complete throwback sound?
No. I defend the producers and I defend the sounds of these albums.
So it's big enough that you're changing your approach to music. You don't have an operatic rock singer up front.
Look, but you gotta get through the door.
Yeah,
you got to get through the door,
and then you can do whatever the hell you want once you're inside.
Funky lo-fi thing.
Yeah,
no one's.
I don't think it would have happened.
MTV's not going to play it. Major rock stations aren't going to get behind it. So it had to sound. Green Day went up against this a couple of years later,
right.
for the Dookie album.
Right.
I mean, that was a big decision they had to consciously make. Like, are you still going? Are you just make Bay Area sounding punk?
Yeah, and they're
like
from
everybody
my area.
else.
Yeah. So and they defied the
and that
punk.
producer said, or we can thicken the guitars. We're going to do Eddie Van Halen spreading like.
Which is LCR, which is what's done on this album, by the way.
Left, center, right. If just listen, headphones or good stereo speakers.
Listen to this album, and you'll see a center guitar comes in during choruses to add. But other than that, the two guitars are totally on the left and right.
Yeah, Sean's right, and he said he was reading some stuff today about Pearl Jam. They're getting shoved around by the music executives, and then they spent a good portion of the rest of their career as a band pushing back on this industry.
Well, Ticketmaster, so they have this huge.
No one else. No other
artist. They take on Ticketmaster, which
came to help them out there, So,
which is kind of a fearless move, you guys.
I mean, wild.
So you get famous, like you buck the odds, right? You get famous. You can go on world tours. You can make a ton of money. Lollapalooza, all of this stuff, right? And you refuse to play Ticketmaster venues. Or you refuse to play them if they demanded.
Just proved what a monopoly it was.
Wild.
Okay, so we should probably wrap it up here. Thank you for the hang, everybody, and listen. I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving. Whether you eat turkey or you're vegetarian, whether you don't like pumpkin pie, you do like pumpkin pie, those things kind of don't matter. Just slowing down and thinking about the things for which you're grateful, that's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that matters. So just it's the right time of year where we just start to slow down a little bit and just kind of.
And the weather wants you to do it.
And the weather wants you to slow down, all that sort of stuff. So thank you so much for this. It was a wonderful hang.
Thanks guys. Thanks so much
for suggesting this one.
So wait a minute. We got to talk about what are we doing? So we're going to revisit some other topics, but what's the next grunge album of most significance that's recorded? And I think I know the answer.
I don't know.
I think it's definitely smells like, or never mind. Excuse me.
We haven't done that before?
No, we haven't done it. It's the next recorded album.
Oh, you know what though? About this show we do. Last week, one of my guest singers, Allie Angel, one of my favorite artists in LA right now, she was one of my guest singers, and she says, "How about I do something to talk about with Bonnie Raitt?"
Let's give them something.
Great, you're gonna sound great on it, hon. And then I realized, I better learn the song. And I'm listening to the record, and Bonnie's playing slides. I'll play slides, and I'm kind of like,
on bass.
Wait a minute, wait, what's going on? So then I went back to our episode that we did about that album.
I love that album.
And that's why I discovered, she's tuned to an open A chord.
Damn straight she is.
And then in the bridge, when it modulates, she capos at 3rd fret. So that's what this.
So she's modular capoing in real time.
Watch her do this song live. Watch Bonnie Raitt do it. She plays that slide flawlessly, singing her butt off, and then she plays the solo. Let's give them something to talk about. She sings. While she's doing this, takes a capo off the mic stand, puts on 3rd fret.
While she's doing it.
Man, we don't deserve Bonnie Raitt.
Well, have you guys ever gone back and listened to like the first Bonnie Raitt album?
Oh,
it's exceptional.
No, she was unbelievable. All those Warner Brother records are incredible.
Oh my god!
By the way, we make a fresh cranberry relish. You understand? Now I know I grew up the jelly where you saw the indents on the can. I get it. There's something cool about the presentation of that. I know Bruce Springsteen said this once. He's like, I don't want to see any real cranberries anywhere near my Thanksgiving table. It's got to be the canned stuff. I get it. I'm not going to fight you.
I don't think I know the difference.
I'm not going to fight you, but cranberry relish, man.
So Bruce Springsteen has a expose about cranberry.
He was on some talk show, and they're asking about it's all about the sweet potatoes and the marshmallows for him, and it's got to be the canned cranberry, you know.
Wow, Bruce.
But Thanksgiving can get very personal with the food thing. I told you we weren't going to get into
prescriptive.
This. Yeah. All right, let's get out of here. I'm getting hungry now. Pumpkin pie.
So we'll see you guys next month.
We'll see you next month, next week. Oh yeah, nice.
See you guys next time.